This lesson is about metals and alloys. Our objectives are to define an alloy and give an example, also to explain why an alloy is stronger than a pure metal. As a starter activity, can you name 3 metals and their uses? What do I do to turn a lump of metal into a sheet of metal? Metal has a regular arrangement of atoms. The special thing about them is that they are malleable, which means that if I apply a force, I'm able to push sections to slide over each other. If I continue to apply force, then I can continue to shape it. Eventually, if I keep changing this force, maybe I'm striking it with a hammer, which is where it gets its name from, malleable, then I'm able to beat it into a sheet of metal. So, malleable means it can be bent into shapes. The old word, malleus, simply means a hammer, and this is when the word malleable comes from. The other word is ductile. Metals are ductile, which means they can be pulled into wires. So what's the difference between a pure metal and an alloy? Well, a pure metal only contains one type of atom, whereas an alloy contains 2 atoms. An alloy is a mixture of 2 or more elements. Usually these are metals. The thing to note is that they are a mixture, so therefore the atoms are not chemically bonded between the 2 different elements. So, are alloys malleable? If you look at the diagram, by adding a second element, the particles of the metal are disrupted. This disruption means that the elements are not able to slide over each other. So when you apply a force, then the amount of movement is limited. It's much harder for the layers to slide over one another like they are in a pure metal. So the metal is now stronger and more hard-wearing. Remember, the metal is combined with either another metal or a non-metal to form an alloy. Here are some examples of alloys. Brass is a mixture of copper and zinc. Bronze is a mixture of copper and tin. There are other alloys: white gold, rose gold, carbon steel, and stainless steel, each with different properties. White gold is made of gold and silver, or gold and platinum. Rose gold has a little bit of copper in it. Carbon steel is a mixture of iron and carbon, and stainless steel, which is much shinier, contains iron, nickel, and chromium. So, test yourself. Can you give the definition of an alloy? Can you give an example of an alloy? How can you explain why an alloy is stronger than a pure metal?